Royal FM.
That is out to X-rail and brainstorm on issues affecting our society with the aim of bringing change.
Topics and realities.
Every Saturday
on Royal FM.
Topics and realities.
A weekly program brought to you by the English desk of Royal FM.
Royal FM.
Topics and realities.
Topics and realities.
Topics and realities.
The gateway to change.
Fellow countrymen, since independence, we have had to grapple with those evil vices like corruption, nepotism, tribalism, and inordinate ambitions in our polity. We must change the things which consistently underdevelop our country. We must change our psyche. Now is the time for us to combine our efforts as a nation. To achieve this noble objective, we have to rise above our differences, to wipe out fraud, bribery, inflation of contracts, vandalization of power lines, and those who are willing collaborators by virtue of their positions in government. Lastly, it is good to be ambitious, but inordinate ambition breeds corruption, treachery, and unpatriotic tendencies in us. Rather, our ambition should be to move our country forward. Merit should come first. Mediocrity must be a practice of the past. Let us all strive to be the best in all what we do. From henceforth, employments and contracts are on the basis of merit and not on the basis of who knows who or godfatherism.
Education stands at the heart of every nation's progress, shaping not only economic growth but also the mindset, values, and ambitions of its people. It is through education that societies cultivate critical thinkers, innovative leaders, and responsible citizens capable of transforming challenges into opportunities. When a country invests in education, it invests in its future, unlocking pathways to technological advancement, social stability, and sustainable development. A well-educated population becomes the engine that drives national prosperity, breaks the circle of poverty, and nurtures the culture of resilience and positive change. Yet, this transformative force is threatened when the societal fabric is weakened by destructive influences, among which drug trafficking stands as one of the most cohesive. The spread of drugs and the criminal network behind them undermine the very foundation of the educational system. Schools located in communities affected by drug trafficking often becomes environments for fear and instability, where students are distracted, endangered, or lured away from learning by false promises of quick money. Teachers become demotivated, dropout rates surge, and educational institutions lost their capacity to inspire hope. The presence of drugs not only disrupts learning, it damages the mindset of the youth, destroying their aspiration and eroding their moral values that education strives to be. Thus, the development of a nation and the transformation of its mindset deepening heavily on safeguarding its educational system from the shadow of drugs trafficking. Only by protecting and empowering our schools can we shape a generation capable of leading the country towards lasting peace, prosperity, and mindful change. Good afternoon, good people, listeners of Royal 88.4 FM. This is Topics and Realities, your Saturday afternoon talk show program in which we capture the topics, we treat the topic with our experts and make it a reality in our life. Topics and Realities this Saturday is November the 22nd, 2025. Will focus on Cameroon educational system and the fight against drug trafficking in our school milieu. How can we make sure that our children go to school huge-free? These questions and more will be seeking answer from you, our listeners, through our number 640-613842, 671-157321. Those are our different access codes this afternoon. You can equal send us an SMS or a voice call on the number 675-595284, 675-595284. Remember that your idea and contribution will go a long way in the development of this country. Topics and Realities is a production of the English service of Royal 88.4 FM. Production assistant is coming from Mapala Zita under the coordination of our own Director General, Roger Kiek. Romelu Kume is our sound engineer. He is our copyright clerk. Bida Brian is our video editor on our YouTube page, Royal FM Cameroon, or Royal FM in short, or you type the name Topics and Realities. You meet us live coming to you from the Thompson studio. We have Boris Landrin, who is our community manager on our Facebook page, Royal FM Cameroon. Those are our different social media network that you can get us live and contribute your own quarter in the production or in the development of Cameroon. General supervision is ensured by Reverend Pastor Bisa Emmanuel Noel. Call me the moderator. My name is Abel Bela Samari. I am the son of Donkey.
For my home the Lord has exalted.
We are talking about the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO. We are talking about Renapo Finance SA. I want to talk about this information which we want to inform our listeners, our clients, or those who are members of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity, members of Renapo Finance SA, to say that there is the construction of the permanent headquarters of Renapo Finance SA, that is the group Renapo Finance SA, and this construction is going on at the Nkwaba neighborhood, just besides the Mamu Hospital complex. The extent of this construction site, 2026 will make 30 years of the existence of Renapo Finance SA. And since its creation in 1996, it has become a major actor in the finance sector in Cameroon, with different products fighting every day to see how man can be removed from the shackle of poverty, because the slogans of the Renapo Finance SA, the microfinance institution, is always to put man at the center of its priority. And at 30, the institution have decided to construct a permanent site which is going to serve as a permanent headquarters of Renapo Finance SA, meaning that in the days ahead, Renapo Finance SA headquarters will move from the Eligefa neighborhood here in Yaoundé to the Kwaba neighborhood, where we are going to have a permanent site. And this is to tell the clients and those who are customers of Renapo Finance SA that be coming into their own permanent site is to foster a lot of development, because at 30, maybe in the days ahead for the 30th anniversary celebration, the company or the microfinance institution will be giving you what is intent to be able to do. But there is something which we must acknowledge it here, is that aspect of going into its permanent site is to tell its clients that it is going into permanent maturity, because at 30 we believe that there is a lot that we have to do in Cameroon to be able to move Cameroonians from the shackle of poverty, give life a meaningful aspect to them. So if you happen to pass at the level of Kwabang, where you see the construction site is going on, or at the level of Eligefa, where a lot of transfer are being done, it is not a call for panic. It is for you to be able to trust the microfinance institution, because more Cameroonians will be employed. There is a better, broad-based development plan that will be enrolled to listeners, to mutualists, to clients of Renapo Finance SA. So that is a very striking information that listeners, clients of Renapo Finance SA should know, that in the days ahead, the headquarters will be moving from Eligefa to the new site in Kwabang. And for now, there are some certain transfer that have been done. It is not a call for panic. The different agencies of Renapo Finance SA in the capital city Yaoundé will continue to be where they are, like the agency in Gosu, like the agency in BMRC. They will still continue to be there. And even those who are client of the Renapo Finance agency at the level of Eligefa, the agency in Eligefa will still be there, but it is just the headquarters that will be removed from the Eligefa neighborhood to the Nkwaba neighborhood. But we are going to have our agency. We are going to give you all the necessary information. So that is one information that we're going to know, because we are going to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Renapo Finance SA in the grand style, and there is a lot of innovation. Remember that with its different products since its creation, Renapo has always been there. We have the Aura, where we can have the Aura Islamic, Aura Fonse, the different Aura Academic that is being coming up. We equally have the SPMC, which is capitally based on those who are engaged in the small and medium-sized enterprises. We all know the difficulty for us to be able to have finances, especially those of the informal sector. So there is a lot of product coming from Renapo Finance. As we equally have the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO, where we are going into access of MASO, and that event will take place on the 4th of July 2026 at the Amadou Ayo Stadium, where with your 100 fans daily contribution to be able to have 26,000 fans, because the last day will be on the 29th of June 2026. And because as from the 30th, you have to start to benefit from the different advantages of the mutual assistance and solidarity. So the Renapo Finance SA Agency headquarters will be moving, because going to Kwaba, we are going to have the headquarters of the group Renapo Finance SA, so that we are going to have come up with different flagship programs, not only the Aura that we have, not only the SPMC that we have, not only MASO, but different other projects will be coming up for the celebration of the 30 years and henceforth for the next phase of maturity of Renapo Finance SA. So listeners, clients of Renapo Finance SA should be able to have this information, and to equally know that when we are talking about the mutual assistance and solidarity, you can also have the necessary information in the different agencies of Renapo Finance SA or our different partners of Renapo Finance SA. And equally, you can come to the radio house here, and we are going to give you all the necessary information that you need to know concerning the mutual assistance and solidarity. And some of those are partners that we equally have for those who are in the Komeseng neighborhood here in Yaoundé. Before you climb the hill to Montbelinga, just around the petrol station there, we have a registration point, which is that of Madame Miriel Kuki, which is our telephone number is 674724422. You go there, you can equally register into the mutual assistance and solidarity. Those who are closer to any black shop, that is, if you go to Carrefour Oyomabang, Carrefour Corbison, Kangsone Oyomabang, and even they're using the law, where you find the black shop, you can equally register there into the mutual assistance and solidarity. Those who are living around the Kunu neighborhood with the new market that have just been constructed, there is Baby Ewane, who is also there, and his telephone number is 699-354618. You can equally register there into the mutual assistance and solidarity MASO. For those who are around the Abang neighborhood, or just opposite the weighing station, you find the shop of Mr. Fufu Idris. Is a popular disc joker in that area. You can equally register into the mutual assistance and solidarity from there. But remember that we are not going to have only the celebration for the 6th edition of the mutual assistance and solidarity. We are going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of Renapo Finance SA. So in 2026, we are going to have a lot of celebrations that are coming up, and that is why the headquarters of Renapo Finance SA will move from Eligefa to the Kwaba neighborhood here in Yaoundé. Welcome to Bisai University Institute. In the field of HND, first and second cycle, our field of studies includes banking and finance, accounting and management of enterprises, human resource management, microfinancing, corporate business rights, journalism. In the field of computer network and telecommunication engineering, we have software engineering, network and security. In the training of bachelor, master and doctoral level, we have business, banking and finance, accounting and management of enterprises, human resource management, microfinance, corporate business rights, journalism, held with work studies internship consisting of 20% theory and 80% practical in a modern, calm, pleasant, comfortable and favorable environment, with an experienced and dedicated teaching staff, carefully selected, an administration that has placed the student at the center of all its priority, and the practice of bilingualism, which offer the possibility of studying in French in English. Back to School 2025-2026 academic year is slated for the 27th of October 2025. Best student in each field of study will be directly recruited into the group Renapo Finance SA. Bisai University Institute, our campus is located at Ekono, precisely Garage des Chevaux, near the Presidential Guard, here in Yaoundé. Contact us at 693-930231, 699-026366, 697-264284. Bisai University Institute, simply created for your well-being.
Bienvenue à l'Institut universitaire Bissai. En cycle BTS, première et deuxième année, nos filières, gestion, spécialité, banque et finances, comptabilité et gestion des entreprises, gestion des ressources humaines, microfinance, droit des affaires de l'entreprise, journalisme. Génie informatique, réseau et télécommunications, spécialité, génie logiciel, réseau et sécurité. En cycle licence, master, doctorat, nos filières, gestion, télécommunications, informatique, communication, spécialité, banque et finances, comptabilité et gestion des entreprises, gestion des ressources humaines, microfinance, droit des affaires de l'entreprise, journalisme, santé, avec des stages en alternance sur 20% de théorie et 80% de pratique, dans un cadre de travail moderne, calme, agréable et studieux, avec un corps enseignant expérimenté et dévoué, sélectionné avec rigueur. Une administration qui met l'étudiant au centre de toutes ses préoccupations et la pratique du bilinguisme qui offre la possibilité d'étudier en français ou en anglais. Rentrée académique le 27 octobre 2025 pour l'année 2025-2026. Les majors dans chaque filière seront directement recrutés dans les entreprises du groupe Renapro Finance SA. Institut universitaire Bissai. Notre campus est situé au lieu-dit Ekounou, garage 2 chevaux, à côté de la gare présidentielle à Yaoundé. Contactez-nous au 693 93 02 31 699 20 63 66 697 26 42 84. L'Institut universitaire Bissai, créé tout simplement pour votre savoir-être.
At Maso, we simply live our African values.
Clock strikes 3, the week is done. The sun is shining bright. Good afternoon, good people. Settling in just right. You're locked on Royal 88 for FM where the airwaves flow. For the show that knows the answers and helps your knowledge grow. From the headlines trending to the questions on your mind. The things we talk about, the truth we have to find. No surface whispers here. We dig down to the core, preparing you for living and so much more. It's topics and reality. Yeah, your Saturday afternoon talk show. We capture the time, grow. Oh, topics and reality with the experts in the studio light, bringing the complex down to earth to make your life feel right, bringing you closer to your reality. We bring in the best minds, the voices you can trust, to treat the topic fairly and shake away the dust. No theory in a textbook, just application clear, taking the subjects that you care about and calming every fear. From the headlines trending to the questions on your mind, the things we talk about, the truth we have to find. No surface whispers here. We dig down to the core, preparing you for living and so much more. There's topics and reality. Yeah. Your Saturday afternoon talk show. topics and reality. With the experts in the studio light, bringing the complex down to earth to make your life feel right, bringing you closer to your reality. This is Royal FM, the home of conversation deep, where the seed of knowledge is planted and the promises we keep. Tune in, lean in, listen close. What you learn here today will be the guiding light you need to walk a better way. Topics and reality. Every Saturday afternoon, Royal 88.4 FM, bringing you closer to your reality.
And indeed, it is Topics and Realities coming to you live from the Thompson studio of Royal 88.4 FM, where we capture the topics, we treat the topics, and we make it a reality in your life. Topics and Realities every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., where we give you the latest information, topics that have societal roots, societal values, to be able to. Thank you very much, Romeo Lekume, for that piece of music. We want to say thank you very much, Etienne Menjo, for working for us to be able to have this wonderful generic that sells our vision, that tells us what we do every Saturday to be able not only to educate you, but to inform you and equally entertain you. I already have some of my girls who are already making their entry here in the studio. We already have, I don't know whether I should call him a parent or I should call him a politician, or I should call him a teacher. But I know he will be telling us more. He's Jean-Baptiste Amout. He is a member of the MP3 party, the multiple threes. Or I don't know how we should put it. The multiple MP3 party movement for progression, prosperity, all the peace that are there. He's a member of that political party. The last presidential election, they had a candidate who was Samuel UD was there, but today we are not talking about politics, we are talking about education. But he has come to honor us to be able to share his own opinion with us in this edition of the program Topics and Realities, why we equally wait. Let's take this publicity, and when we come back, we introduce the other guests.
Royal FM. Hello, Moula. Rejoins le secteur Yamo MTN pour rester connecté au bon plan sur yamo.mtn.cm ou tape étoile 220 dièse.
Yeah, good evening to you, Jean-Baptiste Amout.
Good evening, Abel. Good evening to our listeners. It's a pleasure being with you this evening.
It has really been a while, because I remember the last time that we were together, that was during the presidential election, where you were the spokesperson of one of the candidates. But how was the experience?
It was a wonderful experience. We have learned from Cameroonians with Cameroonians and with the situation, and we are ready to capitalize on all the experience we have gained for the forthcoming electoral rendezvous.
Yeah. So now you think that actually you know what the people want?
I've had an idea. I've had an idea of the aspirations of Cameroonians. It was a really great experience to go closer to the Cameroonians, listen to diverse opinions, because I had the opportunity to follow different political parties and their manifestos, and also listening to different aspirations of the Cameroonians. And today I'm satisfied. I'm happy to say that I've got a lot of experience, and I'm willing to continue to put in that experience to the.
But during the presidential election, it was not the MP3 party. I know the party has been existing ever since, but you put not at municipal councillors. That is why you. But what is the meaning of this MP3 movement progressive, or the progressive movement? The other piece I don't understand.
MP3 is mouvement patriotique pour la prospérité du peuple.
Okay.
So mouvement, the M is for mouvement.
Yeah.
Then the P
Progressive.
Mouvement populaire pour la prospérité, mouvement patriotique pour la prospérité du peuple.
Okay, that is the way.
Patriotique, prospérité, peuple. The three P.
Yeah.
Making it.
But there was a time in this country we know of a political party called the MP party of Jean-Jacques Kinji. Today we are seeing MP3.
That's something quite different.
So this is MP3 party.
MP3.
Thank you so very much. Even though we will be looking more on the educational front of it, given the fact that you are also a parent, we'll be sharing a lot on today's topics, which is a Cameroon educational system and the fight against drug trafficking. What can we be able to do to bring back our education to resemble what can really reflect our own development? Because the way our educational system is going, it is not only becoming a threat to humanity, but it's equally becoming a sort of sorts that cannot really strive for the future. Thank you so very much for being with us today. I know that sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish a politician from a politician or a politician from other caps, but I strongly believe that with you, we are also going to be able to meet up that aspect. We equally have with us he's a teacher. Yeah, obviously, I struggle to see if I can have. Is everything okay, Boris? Okay, I know he's our community manager on our Facebook page. Serious guy. Thank you so very much for what you are doing for us. Good evening to you, Roger.
Good evening, Abel. Good evening to your listeners. Good evening to all the 13 to 16-year-olds that are in Cameroon and that are listening to
13 to 15 years old.
To 16-year-olds.
To 16.
Those are.
What about those who are 1?
No,
3.
those are the students.
3 to.
I'm talking about the group of people we teach in secondary school.
Okay, you are telling us that you are a teacher.
The government has told us never to use a cane on them. And then recently they went to the streets as the government reported that they were 13 to 16 on the street, and then the government was using live bullets on them. So I'm just greeting them and saying that they're a special group of people.
What do you mean?
That's just all I want.
When you bring this issue of philosophy, we celebrated Philosophy Day that was on Thursday. But today you are bringing a lot of philosophy. Even I myself, I don't understand. You are greeting a particular. Greet us, those of us who are in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 40s. Why are you capitalizing on that age group? I know you are a member of the civil society, but my focus is the teaching part. The teaching part.
And that is.
Can you give us that aspect?
That's the reason why I'm greeting them, because those are the people we are teaching.
Okay.
We are not teaching you people of the 40s, the 50s, and so on. And
is it easy teaching them?
It can't be when you have a system that is not working.
Anyway, we'll be talking about the educational system. You can't tell us that the educational system in Cameroon is not working, and you are teaching those particular group of people. We'll be discussing a lot with you, gentlemen. But before then, we go to our main topic. Let us meet Evans William Jobati. A lot have been happening in Cameroon when it comes to information as reported by the print media. We are going to look at some of those aspects that were reported by the print media. Evans William Jobati collected it for us in what we call our press review. Good afternoon to you, Evans William Jobati.
Good afternoon, Abel. Hello to everyone and welcome to this other edition of What's Making News in Cameroon, according to the newspaper review with me, Evans William Jobati. Le Messager reflects on the killing on renowned Cameroonian journalist Martinez Zogo, whose case is still pending in court. Municipal Update rather informs that civil society activist Alice Com has been appointed spokesperson by Issa Chiroma Bakari. The National Post in the same light adds that this news comes after the civil society and human rights activists defended the latter on many grounds. Le Grand Titre questions if this could not be a way of attracting the LGBTQ community in supporting Issa Chiroma Bakari, while the Guardian Post is still waiting for Biya to form a new government while headlining On attend. Réalité Plus says, I quote, même si tous les marabouts internationaux atterrissent à Yaoundé, ils ne feront rien contre Paul Biya. Le Front Hebdo declares that Minister Gaston Elundu Esumba and Victor Mbemi have both failed in the domains of energy supply. Echo du Parlement comes in with National Assembly news featuring Ministers Alamin Ousmane May of Economy and Louis-Paul Motaze of Finance defending two bills. L'Action News Journal sets sight on the 2025 regional elections slated for November 30th with campaigns already on the way. L'Oeil du Sahel informs that 3 parties in list are competing in the far north region of Cameroon. Emergence is surprised that Issa Chiroma is no longer contesting the elections of October 12, 2025. Le Jour bears claims of having proofs that the last presidentials were rigged. L'Info Show breaks the news of the U.S. former Secretary of State Tibor Nagy, who has congratulated Paul Biya for his re-election. Cameroon Tribune pictures the 2-day visits from Equatorial Guinea's Vice President Teodoro Ngema Obiang Mange to Cameroon received at the Nsimaleng International Airport by PM John Gute. Le Citoyen front pages the images of both statesmen with the caption Entre frères, while other newspapers in the kiosk are looking for Bello Buba Maigari, who has literally disappeared from the political scene after the presidential process. On the other hand, Innovation and Mutation announced that the state of Cameroon has now bought back Actis Eneo. Défi Actuel foresees the next plan of action from the state after acquiring Eneo. Elsewhere, La Nouvelle Expression, The Horizon, and the National Challenge says Project C, spearheaded by Eric Chinje, has mounted pressure on Pope Francis to annul his visit to Cameroon. And it is with that we end this other edition of the press review with me, Evans Williams Jobati, wishing you the best of the programs in the company of Abel Bela Samari. Till next Saturday, I'm done and dusted.
And thank you so very much, Evans William Jobati. That is our press review. Let me begin from you, Roger. What caught your attention that you think that we can share? Because I have mine that I want to ask you. But let me first of all find out from you. You have been following information in Cameroon.
Yes, for me, what caught my attention from the press review there is this Eneo stuff. Mm-hmm. Government has bought back 95% of shares. Yeah,
that is good news.
Yes. Well, I'm a conservative, so I won't yet hurry up to say it's good news. But
what you people say about nationalizing our corporation?
Now the
we went to the phase of privatization. Today we are coming back to nationalization. At least we should say it is something. What
motivated the U-turn? Is it a social decision? Is it a political decision, or is it an economic decision? Because it's important for us to know. Is it because under Actis Energy, 1/3 of Cameroon's population could not have electricity? Does the government want to make a social move now to ensure that they increase the number of people who have access to electricity? They should explain to us. Is it that they saw that Eneo, the Actis, was getting more money that could help the country, and so they decided to take it back and make that money for the country? We should know that. And then, is it a political decision to tell us that, okay, now because somebody has taken a new 7 year, he has started changing things because we have been complaining about privatization? So there are 3 different angles of all those things. Is it economic, is it social, or is it political? If it is political, then don't tell me about it.
If it is economical?
If it's economic, I take it as the second best option, but the best option
if it is social
is a social decision. We can't be.
So we should focus on the social and economic.
Social, because we can't be in a
let's appreciate it.
Where we are talking of digitalization, Abel, we can't be in a country where we are talking about digitalization and energy remains a privilege. Okay. It's not normal. It's a right. It's supposed to be a right. So are we now renationalizing because we have seen that digitalization cannot go? You say we'll talk about education. They are telling us to digitalize. Are we seeing that digitalization cannot go because we don't have energy? And then we have taken that social decision to provide energy to the poorest Cameroonian? Yes, then okay. then that is where I stand.
But the government have listened to the people. People have cried that in those days of Sonel, we do not know the number of electricity cuts. But when it was privatized, we started seeing started telling us that the water is not enough. The Cameroon population have increased. The manpower is not there. And with what Cameroon has invested in terms of energy production, the different dams and all the like, don't you think that it was a wise decision to appreciate the government of nationalizing?
You are talking about power cuts. That is people who have energy. I'm talking about people who don't even have.
But from this, we are going to expand.
But we don't know. That's why I say I can't hurry up to know, because the government has not explained its motive. We just heard that government is taking over. Any government that cannot be accountable to its people, it's a danger to those people, because the government has not explained. In a real sense, the government should have already made Cameroonians to understand the motive behind renationalizing energy, so that Cameroonians, every Cameroonian on the street will be able to explain it. But we just hear on news that we are renationalizing. Is it because
how do you want the government to explain?
What they have the media. The media is not only for them to come and start.
But that is what they have been using to inform you.
No, the media is not a place for them to only be issuing us warnings. It's a place for them to also explain to us their actions. So the government we should know, is it a political decision? Because many Cameroonians have been complaining they have nationalized, they have privatized all companies, and now we want to buy back the mind of Cameroonians to start having the hope and experience that they told us to have? Or is it that the government has seen the social need for energy? We have not had any, I've not heard of any, if you know, you are the journalist, if you know, tell me if you have heard any clear plan of action after nationalization. I want to tell you that an insider of Eneo told me that many workers will be laid off. That is what they are scared of. Insiders of Eneo, they are scared that this decision may lay them off. Why? Because they are not informed. They don't know what is happening. You are just working somewhere, you hear that your ownership has changed. Your provider has changed.
But this is not the first company that Cameroon government is doing. The issue of water also, we saw the Cameroon government taking over the water. And today, we don't have that too much problem of water in Cameroon.
Maybe you live where you don't need the water that has been nationalized. If you see the water that the government that nationalized it is providing for a citizen to drink, you will not say this on radio. Sometimes water that you cannot use to even take a bath, to even wash your floor.
How can you say that?
So let us not go to other sectors. I am just saying that if the decision is a social decision, then to me it is the best.
Okay.
If it's an economic decision, well, maybe second best. Maybe the government has seen that they are overspending. They are doing, yes, we can accept that. But if it's a political decision, I care less.
Thank you. But I hope it is not the careless, it is careless. Because sometimes you should be able to put the careless in its right.
Okay, I say I care not.
Okay, you care not.
Yes.
But you care less. Not careless. Careless. That means the care is there, but it is less. The care is there, but it's not. We should be able to. Thank you very much, Roger. Jean-Baptiste, what caught your attention this week?
I will continue in the main stream of idea.
The electricity issue.
Yes, like privatization. That is
renationalizing our national industries.
So after Sodecoton, we are after Camwater, Sodecoton. Now we are talking about Eneo being nationalized, which is a good thing because we need to be in control of these strategic sources of income and sources of amenities for our people. It's a good thing, but after having been entrusted a new mandate, I think the Cameroonians expecting some.
The expectation is very high.
Profound reforms, not only in a very let me say in a shallow manner, but very profound reforms. We are talking about people who have been clamoring and willing to have some changes within our society that can impact not only the decisions but also the policies itself. So we also had the informations that the doctorates have been reopened in the state universities. We had different reforms, but we are talking about we would like to have reforms in terms of governance. Because we have had,
especially in the fight against corruption.
In the fight against corruption.
And somebody just sent in my SMS that with the high corrupt nature that we have in Cameroon, do you think that nationalizing the electricity sector will change anything in the mind?
That is the question.
Will it stop those people from collecting bribes
Because
when they want to go and do the meter reading or the distribution of electric bills?
We have ministers who have been on seat for more than 20 years now. I think if we really want to implement reforms, if we really want to bring something new, we should start by those managing those things. Because if we are privatizing, if you are nationalizing an industry and we keep the same people there, we are not moving anywhere. We have seen how much we've spent in roads, and we have seen how many roads have been completed finally. So we see that we still have much to do, and we expect much from the current regime to really bring about reforms. We will talk about education right now. We have opened the possibility for Cameroonians to pursue doctorates in state universities.
Yeah.
Now, what about the impact or the impact of those doctorate holders, PhD holders, when they finish their studies? So there is a profound reform that we are awaiting in all these sectors. We need a new vision that will really make Cameroonians enjoy Cameroon, and with all its realities and with all what it can produce. So we expect more from the current regime. We expect an appeasement in the socio-political environment. We need an openings and making Cameroonians express themselves politically freely and enjoy the reforms that goes with that.
Thank you so very much. But do you think that let me take this question from Etienne. When corruption is still very implanted, can we succeed in the nationalization process?
We cannot because it will even be privatizing now to individuals instead of to companies abroad, because now people will now be appointed to run institutions that they will never be accountable to anybody for. We have institutions in companies, public corporations in Cameroon that have never been nationalized, but we have never seen their impact. They have never been privatized before, but we have never seen their impact. So if we are talking today about nationalizing as an impact, that's why I'm insisting on knowing the motive. If the motive is just because people have been complaining, no. If the motive is that the government wants to start rendering services to its citizens, then it's good. And for us to be sure of what is happening, we needed a clear-cut project. Remember 2 weeks ago we were telling you about the president taking over office, but we're not hearing any clear-cut project for the next 7 years. Because there is nothing that will convince somebody if there is no plan of action, there is no roadmap. If we just sit and we hear decisions have been taken, especially in the context of Cameroon, so many people begin to suspect that, man, why is this, why is that? Is it not just a way of silencing some voices somewhere? Is it not a way of creating more positions for some people, and then trying to see that this person who is disgruntled here can be sent there to go and just be comfortable there and then stop disturbing the...
Our next panel will be from the city of Garoua. Let me find out if Gethard Benedict is on the line to Garoua. Rumeli Kume, good afternoon to you. Benedict?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Bella.
Are you getting us?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Okay, you just hold the line. Hold the line. We shall be coming back to you as we continue this program. Yes, Roger?
So what we are saying is that with the corruption that we have in this country, that is the first problem of the Cameroonians.
That we need to first of all solve the corruption before engaging into the normalization.
Before getting into any other project, we need to ensure
But
that...
apart from corruption, Jean-Baptiste, there is this issue of initial. People don't like going to work in Cameroon. Is it that or not? Because taking over it will become a government project. It will not become like a government enterprise where you see somebody will say, I leave at 7 a.m., go to work, and maybe come back late in the evening. We'll see the number of people absenting because we have other government structure like what you are saying. Or the hospitals, no accountability if they give money, but we see government pumping in money to them. We don't know how much. Don't you think that as we put hammer on the aspect of corruption, people should also talk to Cameroonians on the aspect of initial? People should be able to work.
Yeah, people cannot be able to work when they know that they are not under pressure. They are not accountable to anybody. I have to teach every day because I know that I live on it. If I'm absent for an hour, I have the consequences at the end of the month because I'm in the private sector. But when people know that if they're absent for 1 week, it doesn't affect them, what do you want? That is part of the corruption. Once a system is such that nobody is accountable, accountability is a key in governance. If I can be absent for work for 1 week And then even my boss cannot talk to me because my boss's boss is my relative. So we have to...
The boss's boss?
Yes. If you are here and you cannot hear in Royal FM, you have your boss. But if the person above your boss is your relative who will protect you, how will you respect your boss? Those are the things that affect Cameroon. Those are the real problems of the Cameroonian.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll talk about accountability. Now, setting objectives. If the leader, I will start by the highest authority, that is the president, fix an objective. This year, we need to attain this. Now, within the ministry, the minister appropriates the vision and implements it within his ministry. He says, in this year, in order to attain what the president said, this year, this month, we attain this week we attain this. And it goes down the line. Now, if we form that chain of responsibility, that chain of accountability, I think we shall do away with inertia.
Let's take this call online. Hello.
Good afternoon, Abel.
Yeah, this should be Etienne Menjo.
This is my name, Etienne.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Etienne.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Abel, and good afternoon to the panelists in the studio, as well as those listening to Royal FM this afternoon. Abel, I just want to come in to comment on the little thing, supporting what the panelists have said. I also like to say that I think it is time for government to make sure that they nationalize all the companies or all the parastatals that have been sold out, because it is time for Cameroonians to enjoy what they work for. And if you look critically, you discover that one of the things as said during the press conference yesterday by both the Minister of Communication and the Minister of Water and Energy said that India has recently been facing a structural financial deficit, which has prevented it from covering all the sector's costs, and as a result, a further deterioration in the financial situation of the electricity sector has also been observed, with the significant impacts of the quality of public service. I think if they go with that line, it is good, but how well will they manage this, given that it is the state that is going to handle everything? That is the biggest question that a common man on the street is asking, given that a lot has been happening as far as the electricity sector is concerned. You will quite know that there are still some areas in Cameroon that don't have electricity. Rural communities are still not having electricity. Even in urban areas, we realize that there are some localities that when there is a blackout, it goes for weeks, months, without anybody coming to intervene. Or sometimes it's difficult, and they'll tell us that this thing is still in Douala, this thing is still where, and for it to repair, you have to go like this. So how well will government be able to manage all these things now that they are the helm of the electricity sector? Is a major question that we need to know. A common man needs to know, and to know that electricity blackout will not be a portion again like it used to be. I think government needs to...
So the future is very bright in the electricity sector?
Definitely.
The press conference explains everything.
Yes.
And my very good friend Roger now is putting a smile here. You already understand that very soon we are going to have a very brighter future when it comes to the electrification in Cameroon.
Yes, Abel, it's true. It's true that we have the future is very bright as far as the electricity sector is concerned, given the various dams that have been done.
Yeah.
But we tend to realize that not all of Cameroon is enjoying the goodness of this.
Etienne Menjo, your time is up. You can come back.
Yes. But Abel, we need to equally with the...
You should be rounding up Etienne Menjo.
To solar energy, Abel.
Thank you very much, Etienne Menjo. You two can still come back. The number is 671-15731, 640-613842. When you call, you should be able to permit others to be able to talk to Etienne Menjo. Thank you very much. But let me, before coming back to you, because you were saying something, yes, accountability. We are rounding up.
Yes, I'm talking about accountability. If the vision embraced by the propelled by the leader is embraced by every a member of the government and every civil servant, I think we shall do away with inertia.
Okay.
Because I think inertia is because it comes when the people have not yet embraced the vision, and they are not accountable for their actions. If there is accountability, if the vision is embraced by all civil servants, all the government ministers, and all those who are supposed to implement the vision of the leader, I think all of us will be working towards the same goal, and there will be no need to stay back home when you need to be in work, because you know that every second, every minute, you'll be accountable of that. And if you don't arrive the objective fixed for the month, for the week, for the year,
you are fired, and you are being replaced by somebody else.
Exactly.
Yes, Benedict, I hope you are still with us online.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking you time.
Okay, thank you so very much. I don't know what caught your attention this week. As news has been unfolding, we are talking about the nationalization of Enyo. Do people always have power cut in the town of Garwa and in its environment, like what we also witness here in Yaoundé? Hello, Benedict? Are we getting, are we still with our caller online? I believe Rumia Kume is doing everything possible for us to be able to get in touch with Benedict. But before then, we'll take this break where we'll come back, we'll enter into our main topic of discussion.
Royal FM.
Il est 17h, bro. C'est l'heure de win chez Orange. 6 voitures de l'heure. 50 voyages pour atterrir au Maroc, plus des milliers de maillots de Lions et des centaines de millions chaque semaine avec Orange Bonus. Combi, Nagle Jazz 111 étoiles 1 Jazz ou avec Orange Money au Jazz 150 Jazz. Orange est là.
Chez Orange.
Orange est là.
And thank you very much, Rumia Kume. We'll come back and we are talking about our main topic of discussion, which is Cameroon educational system and the fight against drug trafficking in our school. Let me move to you, Benedict. You are in the town of Garwa and you are of the basic educational system. And we equally have Roger Ekamba, who is of the secondary school. We are still waiting on others of the university. But the question I want to ask you, how can you perceive the Cameroon basic educational system in this country?
Okay, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say a word or two regarding the Cameroon educational system, specifically the basic educational sector. I think the Cameroon educational system in the basic educational sector still leaves a lot to be desired.
Okay.
There are still so many challenges that many stakeholders in the educational or in the basic educational sector still face. We can look at it from so many perspectives.
Okay.
We can look at it from the quality of teachers that we have. If you look at the qualities of teachers that we have nowadays, you realize that they are not what we used to have in the yesteryears.
And what accounts for the poor quality of teachers?
What accounts for the poor quality of the teachers is that the government has allowed the system to be porous in such a way that teachers come in because of this idea of matricule number system. Everybody believes in Cameroon that for you to be able maybe to survive, you must have a matricule number. And that is why you find so many people, they come in and then they do the training, they are in the street, might be doing whatsoever. And when the time comes, when the government launches maybe a recruitment or whatsoever, you know, through corruption and things like that, they get into the system, and then finally they are not doing what they are supposed to do. So there are many things that, when you see all this, you start wondering whether the government is really willing or wanting enough to promote quality education in Cameroon. You can look at it from another perspective. You see a situation where, for example, you recruit teachers and you send them to areas where they are not willing to work. What do you expect from them? For example, when I was recruited and sent to the north, I was sent to a remote area with no salary, no water. I was completely cut off from everything. Living in that kind of an environment was a nightmare for me.
A living hell.
And then with such when you are living in that kind of environment, the motivation to work is not there, the determination is not there, the zeal is not there. As you are just there. Even the community itself, predominantly Muslim, they don't understand the value of education. So when you look at all those things like that, you find that teachers they don't put in their best to deliver what they've been called up to do. Even the pay package, it does not encourage teachers to work. So teachers have to make do or maybe to find other activities that can permit them to be able to manage maybe to settle their bills at the end of the month. The salary is too negligible, too minimal, to a point that teachers find it extremely very difficult to cope with the increasing cost of living that we are witnessing every day. So you find it very challenging. And then you look at it from another aspect. The government will come in. For example, in 2018, there was a curriculum change. You change a curriculum, and then you don't equip the teachers. You don't equip the structures that we have with the necessary facilities that will permit them to facilitate the implementation of the curriculum as it is supposed to be done. So when you look at it from that perspective, you discover that the qualities or the educational quality that we have in Cameroon, it does not fit, it does not meet up with the contemporary challenges that are facing us nowadays.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Now, Roger, that is Benedict, a primary school teacher, head teacher out there in Garoua. And he's talking about the structure, the policy, and the governance. I want us to stay still on the structure, the policy and governance of the educational system. And I want to ask you, how is the Cameroon educational system structured from primary to higher education? Let us stay within the governance. Yes. No, let me come back. Yes, go ahead.
Now, Abel, you know, the Cameroon educational system, there are first of all 3 levels defined by state policy as basic education, secondary education, and of course higher education. According to the structuring, the basic education...
Yeah, what role do these different ministries play in shaping the educational policy?
That is a very important question, because sometimes the various ministries, if you follow the policies set by the state, the basic education is supposed to be where they educate.
Yeah.
Secondary, they teach, and then higher education, they train.
Okay.
And it's even explained more.
Basic, they educate.
Yes. If you even follow.
Secondary, they teach.
Yes. And then
higher education, they train.
Yes. And each of those words, technically speaking, have a different meaning.
Okay.
If you look at, even in French, when you call the names of the ministries in French, it comes out clear. Éducation de base. That's education. Basic education. Then when you go to second, they say enseignement secondaire. Therefore, they're saying that there now the child is ready to be taught. Then higher education, they talk
enseignement supérieur.
That is where they are now supposed to start training experts. But now we have a problem. He was mentioning a problem of infrastructure.
Yeah,
it's a problem of labor force and even the quality of the available labor force.
Yes, that's the human resource.
Yes, I want to go back to the in-depth of it, the curriculum. do we really have a curriculum where we can educate in basic education? I will tell you, Abel, that nobody has still convinced me with any technical explanation why a nursery school child is supposed to start learning things like ICT, health education, because they are supposed to have what? Basic education. What is basic education? The education that permits a child to know that when I get up in the morning,
I need to greet my father,
greet my mother. I need to be polite with my friends in the quarter. I need to respect the elderly person. I need to just take my bath. Know that when it's time for me to do this, I need to do it. Those basic life skills that you need to incorporate into society, because that is when the child begins to incorporate in themselves in society.
Yeah.
In addition to that, there are some basic things that everybody has to know, no matter your field of life. Basic calculations, mathematics, addition, subtraction, and so on. The child should be able to manage simple problems of knowing that if I give 100 and buy something for 50, they need to give me back a balance of 50 francs. That is why we do basic mathematics. Child should be able to read. You will not go somewhere and see a sign, don't trespass, and then you trespass because you couldn't read. That is how education, basic education, that's what it is actually meant for. Today we find that basic education is gradually becoming a university education, because almost everything, they want to teach almost everything there. And finally, nothing is finally taught. That's why you can have...
But maybe perhaps because some people will leave the primary school and just go straight to the job market.
No, they don't go straight to the job market.
By practicing maybe vocational training.
Yes, I was coming to vocational training.
Okay.
Because today in Cameroon, they have given us the impression that we have technical schools. And I insist we don't. We don't. We have vocational training centers that are prolonged from their usual 4 years of training recommended by UNICEF to 7 years of to be getting what they call technical education. What is vocational training? It is for those people.
Now, I want us to stay back with the roles of this ministry.
Yes, you mentioned vocational training is one of the.
Yes. Let us stay within the governance policies and structures.
The governance policy is what I'm talking about, because we have now allowed young people to believe that with first school leaving certificate, as you are saying, you can run into the job market. It's dangerous for an economy that wants to grow. It's dangerous because when young people start knowing that when I go to a technical school and do maybe building construction, after 4 years when I can build a house and make my money, then I don't need to study again. It's dangerous. An economy cannot go like that. You don't grow an economy with technicians, you grow an economy with engineers. So if we have focused our mind on forming technicians, then we can't be talking of emergence. Emergence comes, those people who are supposed to be doing vocational training should be those who, experts in education, have proven that their intellect, their IQ, does not permit them to assimilate what teaching requires.
Yes.
And then they say don't get lost into society. They give them now those basic skills that they can use to incorporate themselves. It's not for everybody.
Let me find out something from you, Jean-Baptiste. In the introduction, I say you are part of the educational system, not only as a teacher, but equally as an administrator. And in Cameroon, the 1996 Constitution tells us that the decentralization of the state. And when you read the preambles, the documents, it shows that decentralization has a very important part to play. We are still talking about the structure and the governance. How does decentralization affect the management of our schools in Cameroon?
Yes, the different councils, the different regions are supposed to be able to train or to employ their own teachers and work towards the effective sharing of distribution of schools and equipping the different schools. So if the different councils or local authorities are, or structures are empowered to be able to monitor, to be able to evaluate, and to be able to really satisfy the desires of the people academically, they will be really having an impact. For example, a local authority is supposed to know exactly how many students or how many children are at the age of study, and how many are effectively studying, what's the ratio of teachers as per students, and what can be ameliorated, what's the level of infrastructures, and they should be equipped to respond. Whenever there is a deficit in this dimension, they should be able to respond to that and bring up it's not only about responding there. They should bring up solutions to the central administration in terms of the real need, in terms of education, the real need of their different localities. Because we need to move towards an education system that responds to the different realities of the different localities of our nation. The training that we are supposed to give to the students are supposed to be in response to the need of our society.
Okay.
I was saying in another media that Cameroon is a developing country. There are many industries still to be developed. There are many sectors to be developed.
Yeah.
And who are those supposed to develop that kind of sector? We should run away from that desire for everybody to have a matricule or desire for everybody to be a civil servant. We need to train Cameroonians to be able to enter the job market at every level.
Yes.
And this comes through the observation of the market, observation of the society, evaluating what is the need of the society at that particular time in the coming years,
Yes.
and training students to be able to respond to these different aspirations. So it comes through a vision that is supposed to be propelled by the state and embraced by all the different
educational sectors. We'll be coming back to you. Benedict, let me come to you. He said something which is very pertinent, and I want to steal from your aspect. I hope you are still with us online, Benedict. Okay, now I want to steal your administrative part of it. Now you are in the heart of a French-speaking region. You talked about earlier that you are in a place where sometimes people don't know the value of education. First of all, how do you distinguish between the Anglo-Saxon system of education and the Franco-Saxon system of education? Now, from this distinction, do we have an educational plan? Let me say, for example, in the next 5 years, this is the type of Cameroonians from the basic education that we are going to have. In the next 6 years, that is the 6 years program. Do we have that plan of orientation?
Okay, let me start from the first aspect. If you look at, I think the distinguishing between the English subsystem and the French subsystem, if you want to distinguish, you need to look at it from a particular aspect.
Yeah.
You know, and the first aspect, from so many aspects, sorry, and the first aspect is that, or the first thing you need to take into mind is that this educational system, they have their legacy from the colonial, from their colonial masters. That is where the legacies of the educational systems that we have in Cameroon, they originate from. So we want to look at it directly. We can first of all start looking at it from the perspective of the language of instruction. If you look at the French system, the main language of instruction is French.
Yeah.
And then the English language is coming as maybe it's taught as a subject, something like that. When you look at the pedagogical style, because if you look at it from the onset, it is thanks to harmonization. I think that was in 2000 or 2006, if I'm not mistaken, that if you look at basic education, for example, in the English subsystem, some of us, at least you yourself, we have 7 years in the primary school, while our brothers from the French section, they have 6 years, but with harmonization, it is no longer as such. So if we look at the aspect of pedagogy, we realize that the Francophone system features what we call a more practical teaching style, which that is, it is strictly adherent to curriculum, contrary to the English system of education, which at least I think we can say that it is more of student-centered and might be very practical enough. If you look at it, you realize that if you look at even the turnout, you realize that many Francophones, they have engaged in sending their children to English subsystem because at least it is more practicable, it is more realistic, and it is student-centered and a bit, tailored towards the job market. Given the fact, let us not forget this aspect. We know English language is a language of technology and a language that is spoken nearly in nearly many countries in the world. So when we look at it from that aspect, just the fact that it is a language of technology, it is that is the English system is more practical. You realize that it makes it a bit different. Different from the French educational system.
Okay.
So we also look at higher education, our higher education. We realize that Anglophone students face so many barriers, especially at the level of higher education, that is tertiary education. And then, although with the creation of the University of Boya, I think it rejects this aspect because so many of our brothers who left, the English system. By then, when we still had only the University of Yaoundé one, you realize that they came and they faced the challenge of language. And then you look at it from the perspective of the fact that if you look at the industrial towns of Cameroon, they are most of them. You look at it. Bafoussam is an industrial town. Douala is an industrial town. Darwa is an industrial town. Yaoundé is an industrial town. And many higher educations or higher educational institutions, they are found in these places.
Okay.
It becomes very challenging for a student to leave the Northwest or the Southwest, who has studied all his life in an Anglo-Saxon institutions to come and fit squarely into these institutions, which are more of where the language of instruction is mainly French.
Okay.
So I think that the overall difference will first of all think of it reflects first the dual colonial heritage that we inherited, and then harmonization has come in, might be to kind of reduce maybe the gap of differences that exist between the English educational system and the French educational system.
We are going to come back to you. Just stay on the line with us, Benedict. Let me move to you, Roger. It seems as if there is a discrepancy between the private educations and the public education in Cameroon. They are not matched. Why that discrepancy? In terms of the quality of teachers, in terms of the amount of school fees paid, in terms of the output of the graduates.
The unfortunate thing is that in Cameroon, government has allowed education to be business.
Okay.
So
but is it supposed to be business?
That's why I said the unfortunate thing.
Maybe let me ask it from Benedict, who recently defended a master on education. Is education supposed to be a business? Benedict?
I didn't get you.
Is education supposed to be a business?
Is education supposed to be a system?
A business.
Education is not actually. If you look at education from the perspective of that is the aspect of business, it is not actually supposed to be business.
Okay.
But then let us try to look at it from this perspective. We know that if you look at the law of orientation, it stipulates that it is the government is the main provider of education in the country.
Yeah.
But then private individuals can come in to do what?
To support the government. Okay, thank you.
Support the government
in this
initiative.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Just stay there. Yes, Roger.
Yes, I was saying that if promoters of institutions, educational institutions, schools, so to say, consider what they are doing as business, it raises the problematic we have just talked about. The school fees will remain high. Because for it not to be considered business, the government needs to come to their aid through subventions.
Which is not possible.
Which is possible, but which is not being done.
Okay.
Now, we have a situation where the person setting up an educational institution is not thinking about the quality of objective of education.
Yeah.
He's thinking about how much he can gain from education. Now, what is the first thing he's thinking? How can he get cheap labor? Because we are doing business, we need the cheapest possible level. How can he do more publicity? That's why he now has to consider the opinion of parents, most of whom are not educationists, not that they are illiterate, but they are not educationists, over the opinion of teachers who are educationists.
Yeah.
Because now, if the parent, no matter what you explain, at the end the parent has to be right, so as to send the child in that school.
Okay.
Yes, those little things, they make the situation very complex. If we have a situation where you talk about the discrepancy between public service and private service in terms of education, I will tell you, Abel, in the private schools, especially the so-called big private schools that I know in Yaoundé, it is civil servants who are teaching there. Do you know how many civil servants within the past 2 weeks have gone up to the north and southwest to do census? They are all in Yaoundé, in Douala, in Bafoussam, teaching in private schools. So, to tell you that the problem is not the quality of the teacher. The good teacher in a government school cannot come and be a bad teacher in a private school. The problem is the orientation.
The nature that we talked about.
Yes, the organization.
The lack of working habits.
Yeah. So when you have people who know that they are teaching strictly for the money, because, and even the promoter of the institution knows that this institution is just here to make money. It becomes complicated to look at education from the perspective. He was explaining as an expert of education. That we look at it from there, we understand each other. But in the field, we have the problem of having it implemented.
Okay.
Because in the field now, you have above you the overall in the structure, who is the proprietor, who has his business objective. Sometimes
he's the one giving the orientation on how the school should function, and even involve himself in the pedagogy. Meanwhile, he's not an educationist like what you said.
And your expertise is jeopardized by his business objective. Yes, you have the good ideas, but he does not authorize you to implement them because it is jeopardized.
Yeah.
But if we had a system where you come in with an objective to...
He will tell you that this is the month of February, the bilingualism week, no teaching. If you teach, I don't pay you. The children should go out and play. Those stuff.
But I don't want you and I to limit ourselves to the private sector. I was about to come to also say that.
Yes.
I'm
moving somewhere.
I am a mathematics and further mathematics teacher.
Yeah.
GCE is starting on the 2nd of June.
I love what they put in the modern days, the science teacher.
Yes.
Because you teach even physics.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, GCE is starting on the 2nd of June. The progression sheet that was signed from the ministry, that is giving me the program of how I have to teach, shows that between the 9th and the 13th of June, I should still be teaching. There are topics that I should still be teaching at that time.
But the GCE starting on the...
I'm talking about the opposite class.
Yeah.
GCE would have already started. The student would have been in the 2nd week of writing GCE. But the ministry is saying that during this period, you are supposed to be teaching. What does that tell you? That the person who invented it maybe just copied something somewhere and pasted. Or
it does not follow the calendar.
Or is not an expert. Or does not even master the context of...
Are you like saying that from that we can conclude that the ministry is not working in close collaboration with those examination boards?
I am just saying that government is not working with experts. That's all what I'm saying. Because an expert in education, even minus examination board, will not be expecting... It is said, it's a general rule that even the street person knows that about 1 month to the exam, you are no longer teaching, you are preparing the student, preparing the child for exam. Even our parents who are mothers in the quarter who have not been educated, they are the ones who tell us that if you are still teaching by this time, it means that, because everybody understands that it's not only about the teaching, it's about getting the child now to use that knowledge acquired to solve real problem. And where is that tested? During exams. I am just trying to let you know, go and take the progression sheet for pure math, mechanics, pure math, statistics, further mathematics, physics. You will see that in June, teachers are supposed to be teaching.
So you need to catch up.
They will send inspectors from the delegations, maybe sometimes national inspector of government to come and insist to you that you are not following progression sheet.
That you are too fast with the children.
You are going
Meanwhile, you are struggling to make sure that the students will be ready for the exam.
And what they have programmed for you to teach in June.
But perhaps the control sheet does not really take the fact that children should be able to... That is not really preparing the children only to pass exams. The one that the children should be able to have the knowledge that they will use it.
No.
Are you saying that you teach just because you want the children to pass at the end of the day?
You cannot be teaching a student who is at the same time writing exam. If from the 2nd of June the child has to start writing exam, it means it is fictitious for me to think that I will be teaching on the 2nd of June because that chair will be in an examination hall.
And you can even leak the exams. Now, do you think that our Parents-Teacher Association, that has always been the backbone to the growth of education in Cameroon, I take the Anglo-Saxon system where I grew in, we have seen the Parents-Teacher Association where the foundation, where that moral stand-up person, do you think that they still play that role that they play in the years and years or the pre-colonial period?
It depends on which sector we are standing in. If you talk about the private sector, the PTA or the Parent Teachers Association have little or no word to say
because it's a private business.
It's a private business. Now, talking about public schools, it's quite unfortunate that this inertia has found its way into these different into the public schools as well. We used to have Parents Teachers Association will sit and say, okay, the number of the number of students in the classroom is saturated, is making the student uncomfortable to study. We can gather together and then build a new classroom for the school.
Yeah.
But now, and they used to participate when it comes to disciplinary councils, when it comes to talking about the policies to be implemented within the schools. They had a word to say.
I remember when I was in new school, they said, go and bring your father. I thought that bringing my father would even help me, but the guy came and left me on the road.
Exactly. Parents were parents, and
the
they
guy
could
ordered
impact.
that I should be flogged.
They could impact. They could impact in decision making within the schools and help and work hand in hand with the school authorities to really help implement the school rules and regulations. But what are we seeing now? We see that the parents. I'm mostly in the private sector. The parents are slowly disengaging themselves from their responsibilities that is accompanying the school authorities, accompanying the teachers in the formation of their children, and they limit their involvement in the education of their children in paying school fees. They have some parents that after paying the school fees at the beginning of the year, they don't pass. They have been summoned, they don't come, they don't check about the progression. But yet, at the end of the year, when they meet up with the failed, the red report cards, with the bad report cards, they will be blaming the school. Meanwhile, they have been called multiple number of times to come and intervene, but they didn't do that.
Some don't even check if the children actually copy notes in school. But from what you people have said, let's take this publicity.
Royal FM. Yellow, join the MTN Yamo zone and stay connected with good deals on yamo.mtn.cm or dial *220#.
Thank you very much. Benedict, you are still online with us?
Yes, I'm online. I'm with you.
Okay. From all what you people have said, I've discovered that it is the problem is not the poor teachers that we have, but the negligence that we have given to our teachers. The negligence from the parents to play their own role in the upbringing of the children. The negligence of the government to be able to play its fundamental role in the training of its teacher, in the providing of the best quality of life in our teachers. Now, I want to ask you, how do we come to the fact that our schools today are fast being transformed into business hub, into grounds of drug trafficking in our schools?
I don't know whether you want to ask about maybe the proliferation of drugs in our schools.
That is the question I'm moving to. How do we arrive at that point?
Well, if you look at it, if we are looking at it from the basic education perspective, I don't think it is very rampant.
Yes.
But then if you now get to secondary education,
you
realize that the environment has made it in such a way that many students, they engage in drugs. At times, peer pressure, the kind of people they associate with, the kind of environments they grow in, at least it influences maybe the intake of these drugs.
Yeah.
Like in my own setting here, for example, in Garwa, you realize that I think despite the many campaigns against the consumption of drugs, the fact that we are, let me say, a border town to Nigeria, where so many drugs come in, because when they talk of drugs being sold by the roadside, by the streets. If you come to Garwa, you realize that the phenomenon is very rampant. So the fact that these drugs come in easily from neighboring Nigeria, from neighboring Chad, you realize that it becomes, that is, accessibility is easy. Students are able to have access to these drugs easily. And the fact that the parents are too negligent might be to follow up their children, to understand what they are doing. Because some parents, they think that once they buy books, once they pay fees, they play their role as far as the education of the child is concerned. They don't know. They have, from time to time, have to follow up those students, because many of them, when they get out, when they leave their homes, many of them, they don't end up reaching school.
Yeah.
If you look at the number of street children in Garoua, I've never seen them anywhere in any town in Cameroon, or the towns that I know. It is just so terrible. As I'm speaking, where I live, I can see some, they're already seated around here, and behind a private school, smoking, taking their drugs and things like that. So it is really terrible. So
we'll be coming back to you.
Handle this thing.
Yes, maybe we'll be coming back for you for us to be able to look at solution. But we want to thank you very much for giving us that picture of how the drugs is being influenced. Let me come back to you, because you people are the heart of that influence. I'm talking about Jean-Baptiste and you, Roger. Earlier on you say, well, we go by definition. Secondary education should be where children are being taught. They are being taught the way into life before they move to training at the level of the university. But what social factors are affecting the high proliferation of drug trafficking in our school? Is it the fact that the teachers in the private sector have been neglected, because some schools even came up with repressive measures to be able to control children? But other research has shown that there are some teachers who are the one even coming to school now, putting the drug because they don't go through the control, and when they reach, they have their network. How do we arrive at this point where our education is becoming a threat? Are we going towards what Nelson Mandela says, that if you want to destroy a nation, don't use weapon of mass destruction, but destroy the educational system?
But we are going around the same thing. Don't undermine what the co-panelist Jean-Baptiste has said there about collaboration in education.
Okay.
What used to happen, I have taught in rural areas. You can count Boom, you can count Kejomkutingu, my own village, you can count other rural areas where I have taught.
Yeah.
And what happens is that the community is part of the education of the children through the school.
Yeah. That's why I asked you the question of the PTA.
Yes, the PTA first. There is also what we call the school council, which exists in government school, where even the quarter head is a member. If you have trouble with a group, like he was talking, our co-panel from Garoua is talking about a group of boys in the quarter who handle he cannot leave the school and go there. Now, but there needs to be somebody in charge of that no man's land. Who is that person? The community leader. It was easy that the principal in a school council meeting will present a problem where the quarter head is there, the village council representatives are there, the traditional rulers are there, and he says, we have problem because there are people from the quarter here who come here and try to influence these children that you people send. We just realize that when we close
in a town like Yaoundé,
well, if it is organized, I will tell you in a certain school that for about 2 weeks there were some quarter boys who transformed themselves into, let me use a word, terrorists. Meaning that there were students who were even afraid to come to school because of those boys. And each student left the quarter, entered the school, and then left again the school, went back to the quarter, and it was complicated. The principal is forced to be using gendarmes to repress the situation. But I think that if we are organized in a way that the people in the community feel that this school is part of their responsibility, because it is what is educating their children. Now, you will have a situation where the quarter is looking at the school as a private school and as somebody's business. They don't get involved. They don't feel that it is their duty to know what's happening there and to assist that institution to function normally for the good of the whole community. It comes back to what I was telling you, that when education becomes business, those are the complexities. But in the case where we have these rural areas, where a government school comes, people should celebrate, is what they have been waiting for. They feel that this is what we have. They hold it at heart. It is what they are. They do everything. You in the community want to disturb there. They are the ones who come and tell you, if we see you there again, we are the one. The school plays a proportional role, but the community participates. We have gotten into the era of drug abuse. Schools don't sell drugs. Those drugs are sold in communities. I remember when I was in high school, there was an area where students used to dodge away from school and go and drink their alcohol, do their things there and so on. The school, after the school administration had given so many warnings, sensitized, they just needed to use the quarter authority, the village authority, who just went and told the owner of the gang leader. No, the owner of the place that if from this time to this time we see any children again, you are going to close this place.
Okay, let's do this call online. Hello?
Yes, Abel, it's Etienne that is back.
Yes, Etienne.
Yes, Abel, I really support what the panelists are saying, and to add to what they are saying, just to say that the full implication of drugs in our school is a shared responsibility. Because if you look at the way things are going, you also notice that sometimes our parents are being blamed, the teachers are being blamed, and the government is being blamed for everything. We said, for example, government said schools should not be constructed besides bars. But when you go around our vicinity, you discover that schools are situated inside the hubs where bars are located. And what do you expect that could be happening? Sometimes you see some of these teachers, they are the one who goes to bar, and these students comes and give them drinks, and at the end of the day, you see so many things happening. And sometimes, if you ask these teachers that when you are growing up, were you envisaging to be a teacher? Some of them will tell you that it's because of hardship that have pushed me there. Some have not.
Like what Bedaji was talking about, the Machiko syndrome.
That is it, and that's why some of them don't have the passion for this job, and what they are doing is just to survive, to earn a living, and that is why you see they don't put so much care, so much to the well-being of the children, and that is why laissez-faire has already become a syndrome that nobody cares, nobody cares what children are doing, and it's really affecting us.
So what are you proposing? What are you proposing, Etienne?
Yes,
let me get from you. What are you proposing? Do you buy the idea of the panelists who are saying that it is time for us to be able to stop drugs in our different schools? It is time the community play the role of the community leaders. Community involvement. Maybe the different quarters, they work in close collaboration with the school authorities for them to be able to identify, because different methods have been coming up on a daily basis. What are you proposing, Etienne Menji? How can we stop this phenomenon?
Yes, I think for us to stop this drug issue is, like the panelists were saying, is for us to work hand in hand. Teachers, the communities, the state need to work hand in hand to make sure that these children do not possess this. Sometimes you will understand that some of these drugs are being even given by parents who come to school to sell food, and sometimes they go, and so you see that it's difficult. So definitely we need to work hand in hand. If we are putting up rules or policies that are very stricter, when somebody is caught with drugs, it should be stricter and very firm. Parents should know that they are the first teachers, and they're supposed to take their roles as possible as first teachers. Parents know that they have to follow up their children. The state knows that they have to make sure that what is implemented should be there. What should be there. The stakeholders know that they have to make sure that discipline is installed at every level.
Okay, you are rounding up, Etienne. You are rounding up. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. You can still come back. Yes, Rojas, you were saying something before we had that caller.
Yes, he has come and he's just continuing my line that they need, first of all, it starts from the top.
Yes, so how can we stop this?
Yes,
this aspect of drugs that is proliferating our schools, changing the mindset of our children.
We need policy that everybody should be made to be to understand by the powers that be that a school is a school for everybody, whether it is government or private.
Okay.
Then
there should be no discrepancy.
There should be no discrepancy. Then so that the school authorities, the school proprietors should be assisted by government, so that they will also open themselves to the community and get the community to participate in their activities. Because what we see now is that we are mostly...
Is it possible, meeting the quarterhead, I'm the school proprietor of this school, I want you to be a member of my school council, he will ask you for city allowance?
That's because he looks at that school as your business. And that's because the powers that be have permitted it to be so. Most people in the community look at private schools like somebody's business. They don't really care about what is happening there. But in places where we don't have many private schools, where we mostly have government schools, we see how people care about how the government schools function. Because they don't look at it as somebody's business. They know that it is a community endeavor. So the powers that be, the government itself, should bring in policies that will make everybody to see a school, whatever the sector, as a community something. So that each thing happening in a school, it is not normal that students leave a school, they are fighting at the road, and people are passing. Nobody cares about what's happening. Because they feel that, well, they will go tomorrow, the school will handle it. But it doesn't happen like that in areas where we don't have private schools. So I am saying that the main thing is that the government should create possibilities for communities to start looking at schools as their own
institution in their own neighborhood. It is not a private something for somebody, but it is for the community.
So that they should be able to protect them. Now, secondly, don't undermine what our panelists from our caller just said. No, our caller just talked about parents. There are some parents who encourage work. There are some parents who don't care. You tell the parent your child has taken this. Some of them are defending their children. They feel that, well, if that's the life the child wants to live,
let him live his life. But it's not the case. Some people are even saying that the aspect of no cane in our school has actually changed.
It has encouraged, it has facilitated those things. When I was greeting, I told you that we are teaching people, we are asked not to use a cane. I'm surprised that the same people who asked not to use the cane are using the live bullets on the same people. You see? Because when you say that a cane should not be used on a child, and the worst is that you don't go and tell the teacher, maybe in a private meeting with the teacher, and say, no matter what, try not to use a cane. You announce it in a decree and sing it on media so that they should sing it for the children to hear that a cane cannot be used on it. I will tell you that there are many times that students tell us, you cannot beat me, you beat me, I go and tell the minister. And then once a child does not look at the teacher as somebody who can stop an attitude that you are putting up, because that's the first thing. If you know that this man has the powers to stop me from putting up a certain attitude, when the person is talking, you listen. But when you know that the man's duty, he's working his money, because the main problem is this private sector issue. The interpretation.
But even the public sector, even our public schools, are not also finding it easy.
They are not finding it easy, but it is easier with them than in the private sector. Because
I'll be coming back to you. Yes. How do we solve this aspect of drug trafficking in our school? Because the type of Cameroonians in the next 4 or 5 years, do you think that we are going to have people who are going to manage this country if we continue this way?
The first error we make when fighting against drug consumption in school is that we attempt to solve the problem at the superficial level.
Okay.
Because this is a problem that is a social ill that is really deeply ingrained within our society.
Okay.
And then we need to take into consideration or make an interplay of all the different moral influences that our students, our children, our young people are exposed to. So there is a need for the interplay of at least 4 different sectors. The first is home training.
Okay.
I have been in a situation where I encounter different parents training their children in a different way. And let me tell you that the home training has a very, very useful impact in the behavior of the children. So if there is a considerable home training, that is efficient home training, we shall be helping in curbing that situation. The next aspect is the religious aspect. we should not neglect the impact or the input of religious leaders and religious doctrines in the formation of our society, of our young children, of our young people. If the role, the church or the mosque or the Islamic leaders or the Christian leaders or any religious leader we have really deepen the training, the spiritual and the moral training we have on the students, we shall be solving that problem. Then state policy comes. State policies.
Yes.
Our children are mostly
Rapidly,
exposed.
can I just take this caller?
Yes.
Hello?
Are you there?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening. This should be Ibrahim.
Yeah, a citizen from Rompo Express.
Standing at Rompo Express. Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening to you all. Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, sir.
We are talking about which education. Now, you know, we use our onboarding. We are still small. They send us to school. We use our onboard and cut whoever they remain, then return back. Which specifically education we are talking about? You said all life itself is about education. Or you are talking about the education in school, how teacher has to behave in school with the student and all the like. Hello.
Yes, I'm getting you.
Are you getting me?
I'm getting you, sir.
D'accord. Mr. Ege, I think that...
how can we fight against drug trafficking in our schools?
Fighting against drug trafficking in our school is something that every actor of the society has to implicate themselves, starting from the house, the road, the school, after school, and back to the house. Because in the house, when a child has some certain education in the house, when a child has good education in the house, I'm a part of the people that think that when a child has good education in the house, if you have two children, one has good education, the other has no good education. When they will be outside, the one that has good education from base, they can be astray in the society, but not more than that one that did not have really good education.
Okay.
So we parents should start by educating our children in the house, showing them the consequences of drugs. In school, teachers will continue from there. After school, on the road, you know, just to finish from there, Mr. Ebe, you know that the school of today, the society of today is not of our own time. You know that in our own time, everybody we are educators.
Okay.
So a grandpa could see you on the road when you are doing something that is not good. That grandpa could call.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim.
Sorry?
Thank you very much.
You are welcome, Grant.
Okay, thank you. You can still call again. Yes, you are rounding up.
So I was talking about the next item, which is the state policy. The state has to play its role in regulating the exposure of our young people, especially through internet and the different media. There are some countries that regulate the content being posted, the content being exposed on social media, and these different contents on social media influence our children and slowly leave them to be much more attuned or much more prompted to use drugs. And the last and the most important, I would say, is the schools. We need to make actors in the educational sector to be passionate about learning, making learning a passion. If you to fight against an ill, you need to replace it with a virtue. Now, if trainers, if educational trainers, if teachers are trained to be more creative and making learning an attractive thing by making some different topics more attractive, making students to feel more and more in love with education, I think the attention will be drawn towards learning, and they will be slowly removing their minds from this drug abuse and all that. And reinforcing policies. There are some schools that check at the gate, check their students at the gate while they are entering. They make uproot searches in classrooms, and they do a lot of counseling. They do a lot of
some have even put cameras
everywhere to really prevent and educate the children.
And since they cannot put camera in the toilet, the children have transferred their base to the toilet. Thank you so very much, Benedict. I hope you are still online.
Yes, I'm online.
Yes, we have. Because the national, when you take by statistics from the national prevalence, it says that according to the Cameroon Human Rights Commission and the National Committee for the Fight Against Drugs, about 21% of school-aged children in Cameroon have used drug at least once. This number is very high in our society. How can we fight against drugs rapidly?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a holistic approach.
Okay.
It means that every member of the educational community should be part and parcel of the fight.
Yeah.
We start at the level of the school. Teachers should educate the learners, should teach them the ills or the dangers of consuming drugs.
Yeah.
And then the parents. Through, for example, the school can organize during maybe PTA meetings. Do everything possible to convoke all the parents to sensitize them on the need for them to follow up their children, to know what their children are doing, to try and control maybe the company, the cliques, the peer groups that their children maybe they find themselves back in the quarters.
Okay.
Then the government
Benedict
on its part. I'm saying that the government on its part.
Benedict
should. Yes, I'm getting you.
Yes, my technician said my time is up. Can I say thank you very much for giving us this your time to be able to be in this program. We hope to see you when we talk about this topic again.
Okay, thank you. The pleasure is shared.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, thank you for coming. But rapidly, we have 1.26 million children who are affected by drugs directly or indirectly. This is sometimes children put their water, their friends come and put drugs there. How can we solve this matter? Definitely, one word.
We should come up with a collaborative approach between the schools.
Still the heuristic.
Yes, the school, the parents, and
the
the teachers, the communities, everybody.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much, Jean-Baptiste.
Thank you for
Jean-Marie Anaba. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Abel Belasama.